Hello everyone. So happy to meet you all in my second video on law concepts. Today the topic is court system of British. So let's move on to the video. Right, so the court system of British. I like to tell you a short story on court system of Sri Lanka. Already by the Dutch occupation, we got the court system to our country. After the cedation of maritime province to British by Dutch, British conquered our country and they ruled country. They introduced their court system to our country. Also, they changed the existed court system to has their system. So here I would like to explain you the changes which made by British to our country by the judicial system. Let's begin with the Dutch period. During the Dutch period, we had High Court of Justice or Land when just or Raad when justice or Hof when justice. That is the superior court we had. It has civil and criminal jurisdiction together. And especially, there are three high courts in Colombo, Galle, and Jaffna. Because Dutch colonized only the maritime province of Sri Lanka. Next is the Civile Raden, Stan Raden, or civil court. It has only the civil jurisdiction. Especially, it has established for reduce the burden of High Court of Justice. It also existed in Colombo, Galle, and Jaffna. Third one is the land Raden for land disputes and minor civil matters. You know, land matters are more emotional among the people in Sri Lanka. For that, land matters also include the customs. So the Dutch has given chance to single chiefs to occupy in the land Raden court to resolve the land disputes, especially Adigas, Tisavas, Mahamudaliyas, Atapatumudaliyas are the chiefs who participate in the trial of land Raden. It has existed in Colombo, Jaffna, Galle, Matara, Trincomalee, Chilau, and Batticaloa. Also, another board has there, which court has the orphan chamber. It is specially for the orphan children, the Dutch orphan children, not for singles, right? In Fort land. So what happened was the Dutch people appointed as the vice-cammer. So after 1750, Sinhalese also appointed as vice-cammer. It's existed in Colombo, Gaul, Jaffna, Nigambu, Matara, Trincomalee on those areas. So this is the basic idea of Dutch court system. Also, the appeal of the High Court of Justice cases will send to the Court of Batavia in Jakarta, Indonesia. Right? So that is the appeal court equal to the Supreme Court, right? That is the Supreme Court. Superior Court for all these. It is situated in Indonesia. So this is the court system in Dutch period. So next, in 1796, Dutch has attacked by the British. Right? British conquered Sri Lanka in 1796 in the period of Governor North. Right? By the sedation, the adjacent area of Sri Lanka came into the hand of British. Right? That is the period of 1796. By the occupation, they made some changes to the court system which existed in the maritime province, adjacent area. So that proclamation code has the 23rd September 1799, 14th October 1799 proclamations. These proclamations gave effect to the already existed courts, which are High Court of Justice, Civil Radha, and Land Radha. Additionally, it has established the Supreme Court of Criminal Jurisdiction. Supreme Court of Criminal Jurisdiction has the criminal jurisdiction which earlier entertained by High Court of Justice. Now it has delegated to Supreme Court of Criminal Jurisdiction. The civil jurisdiction has already, it existed, High Court of Justice entertaining it. Then the appeal from the Supreme Court of Criminal Jurisdiction will go to Privy Council. Earlier, the appeal of High Court of Justice went to Court of Batavia, but now it's went to Privy Council, which is situated in England. Also, in Dutch period, we know fiscal officers are there for minor civil. Here, a separate court has built to civil officers, which it's named the vice presidents, called fiscal court. It is for minor civil matters. Example, trespass, petty larceny, common assault. Larceny means taking someone's property or things, objects without the owner's consent. These minor civil matters entertained by the fiscal court. This is the first change which made by the Now we have the hierarchy of the existing code by the first change. First one is the Privy Council, but Privy Council is not in Sri Lanka. It is in England. For the knowledge, I am giving like this. Privy Council Supreme Court of Criminal Jurisdiction, High Court of Justice, Civil rather, Land rather, Fiscal Court. Next, 22nd January 1801 Proclamation. In this proclamation, it established a new court called Court of Appeal for appellant cases. These Court of Appeal are here all the appeal cases. And also, there are some sort of changes made by the British to the High Court of Justice, Civil rather, Land rather, and Fiscal Court in their jurisdiction. Next, another proclamation in the same year after 3 months, 18th April 1801 proclamation. This made the Supreme Court of Criminal Jurisdiction as Supreme Court of Jurisdiction. Now, Supreme Court of Jurisdiction had civil and the criminal jurisdiction both together. Also, Chief Justices and Puny Justices were there. In the Supreme Court, what are the criminal jurisdiction which are governed by this? Those are trespass, treason, murder, rape, concussion, theft, robbery, culpable homicide, etc. This is the criminal jurisdiction of Supreme Court of Justice. Next, the High Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal has renamed and renewed as High Court of Appeal. This High Court of Appeal had Chief Justice, Puny Justices, Secretary of Government. Who is Secretary of Government? Is the governor. So on that period, the governor is not. Okay. This is the main idea which happened. Next, now we have Privy Council, Supreme Court of Justice, High Court of Appeal, High Court of Justice, Civil rather, Land rather, and Fiscal Court. Now, a major changes has done by these proclamations, not only one. First is 20th August 1801, February, November, June, July 1802 proclamations. First change was made to the Fiscal Court. Fiscal Court has abolished and it has re-established as the Court of Justice of Peace. Who are Justice of Peace? Who are the people appointed as Justice of Peace? Are the army officers, judicial officers, and executive officers. Those all are British, right? No any native people. Army officers, judicial officers, executive officers has appointed as Justice of Peace. Also, there are many courts, right? There are many courts, many court of Justice of Peace. One of the Justice of Peace in each court should sit as sitting magistrate in Supreme Court. right? That is a special power which given to justice of peace. Also, next major change was civil radhan and land radhan abolished. And their civil power has given to provincial courts. So provincial court had the civil jurisdiction. There are 5 provincial courts. Those are situated in Putlam, Trincomalee, Colombo, Jaffna, Mathura. Putlam, Jaffna, Trincomalee, Colombo, Mathura. When we see these 5 places, still British are in the adjacent area. It's mean the maritime province. Now the year, when you check the year, 1802, another major year which gave more power to British people. In 1802, Dutch colonizers ceded the maritime province to British people. So all the maritime area given to the British. Now we have Privy Council, Supreme Court of Justice, High Court of Appeal, High Court of Justice, Provincial Courts, and Court of Justice of Peace. Now it's 1802, let's see. Now, in 1802, another major change has made to Supreme Court, which is Supreme Court has added somewhat civil jurisdiction, which is unsound mind and guardians for minors also decided by the Supreme Court of Justice. Matters regarding unsound mind and guardians for the minors, now it is decided by the district court, but earlier in British time in 1802, it has decided by the decree by the Supreme Court of Justice. Again, another regulation in 1805 actually. Regulation number 1, 1805. It actually empowered provincial courts much more. How? Provincial court had civil jurisdiction on that in 1802. But in regulation number 1, 1805, provincial court has jurisdiction to or power to entertain the criminal matters also. So criminal jurisdiction has added to provincial court. Next, another change, instantly. Soon has the Court of Justice of Peace established, it has abrogated by this regulation. But the important thing is justices of peace who appointed have the sitting magistrate. Their powers has increased. They have said, but others has lost their power and the appointments. Now we have Privy Council, Supreme Court of Justice, High Court of Appeal, High Court of Justice, Provincial Courts only. Now the regulation number 6, 1806. Next year, it's mean after 1 year of 1805. Here, already last year, that regulation number 1, 1805 had abolished the Court of Justice of Peace. But in this regulation, they reappointed the prisoners as the agent of revenues and fiscal office. And also, special jurisdiction has given to Fiscal to appoint Vidani to arrest criminals. Vidani is the single chief who has village headmen, right? So he can appoint by the fiscal officer to arrest criminals, but under the governor's approval. You know, in that period, in this 1806, still North is the governor. Now we have Privy Council, Supreme Court of Justice, High Court of Appeal, High Court of Justice, Provincial Court, and Fiscals only, not court. Now, regulation number 5, 1807. Then, soon after 1 year, regulation number 5, 1807. Actually, somewhat increased the civil jurisdiction of Supreme Court of Justice. Already it increased. We know the unsound mind, yes. Now again, it increased the civil jurisdiction of Supreme Court of Justice. And another new court has established, that is Low Court of Appeal. High Court of Appeal already is there. Now it is Low Court of Appeal. Low Court of Appeal actually established for the appeal cases of provincial courts. High Court for High Court of Justice, Provincial Court appeal cases, the Low Court of Appeal has established. Right? And the Colombo Provincial Court, we know there are 5 provincial courts are there. So one of the provincial court is the Colombo. It has abrogated. There's no more Colombo Provincial Court. And another proclamation after 3 years, 6th August 1810 proclamation. 6th August 1810 proclamation. It increased the both civil and criminal jurisdiction of Supreme Court of Justice. Before in 1807, only the civil jurisdiction increased, but in 6 August 1810 proclamation, both civil and criminal jurisdiction were increased. Also, trial by jury increased. Now, in 1810, that is also a specific year I want to mention here. In 1810, North has retained the already existed peer justice who could has Alexander Johnston. We know him. He's the governor who introduced the Mohammedan Code, who created the Mohammedan Code. So he is already the peony justice of the Sri Lanka. He's British, right? So he came as Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Justice in 1810. His major interest is on collecting and learning more deeply about the customs. He collected the information about the Muslim customs, that is the Mohammedan Code actually. And he collected the information about the Sinhalese customs. On that time, the Sinhalese custom is not there, existed. It has abrogated by the British people, but he collected. And he collected the information about the Jaffna Tamil customs. Be more interested on the customs. Now, why I'm saying that in this moment is to clarify you the next changes he made. So now in the period of Alexander Johnston, we have Privy Council, Supreme Court of Justice.